Hi, welcome to day 3. So today we're going to be dealing with probably one of the most underutilized tools that we have at our disposal for our own healing and our own enlightenment and our own expansion. And that is the power of breath. The ability to become conscious around using breathing as a tool for growth. Breath is something we take for granted. Clearly, we breathe all day, and this is the sort of life force. Energy is called chi and prana, and these words will stand for life force. It's energy. And so the ability to breathe is the ability for us to direct life force and energy into our body. And really, it is one of the most vital tools, or vital what's the word that we would use, processes that our body goes through. However, if you had to sit back right now and take a moment and almost calibrate for yourself, how deeply are you breathing? How intentional are you with your breath? What is the quality of your breathing like? Most of us find that we end up breathing very shallowly, so that when we are tense and stressed and tired and overwhelmed, our body goes into a state of stress and we kind of hold our breath. And as we hold our breath, so we are unable to process, release, and think straight. So breathing is one of these very, very powerful tools that we have that is very simple to use. There's no need for any additional you don't need anything to do it. You have your breath with you all the time. It's something you can do when in the lift on the way to work. It's something you can do in the car. It's something you can do whilst you're sitting quietly. It's something you can do before you go to bed. It's something you can do whilst you're sitting on the couch next to your family. It really is readily available and easily accessible to us. And I say it like that because I almost want you to become conscious of it as a tool, and not taking it for granted, is that you have this amazing resource at your disposal. We all do. And breath certainly for me is one of the tools that I constantly find myself coming back to, especially when I'm feeling like things are getting too out of control and I'm too overwhelmed, is take a breath, let it go, everything will be okay. Now, one of the things that's really important around breath is it's the primary tool we have for presence. You would have heard a lot in your journey already, I imagine, around the power of presence, of being immersed in the present moment. And our mind is very seldom, if ever, conscientious about being in the present moment. Yet, two things, or one thing in particular, that is always holds us to the present moment is our body. Our body is here now. And breath is this consciousness of bringing our mind to presence, of paying attention to the present moment. When you take a breath, you connect with your body. And when you connect with your body, you open up your heart. And when you open up your heart, you connect with your spirit. And so even when I do intuition development training and talking to people about how to use their intuition, the key to intuition is breath. It's very hard to access that small, still inner voice that is present in the current moment when we are, not breathing and we're distracted and we're distressed. So today I'm going to take you through some easy breathing techniques, things that you can do. I'm going to take you through a couple of them. There is a PDF that's downloadable for you to use, and the instructions are there as well. And then I've also attached a YouTube link for you, which is a really, really cool thing that I found. It's like a 10-minute meditation. And literally all it is on the screen is like an expanding shape and a contracting shape. An expanding shape and a contracting shape. And they've programmed this from a timing perspective that you can literally just watch these shapes and match your breath to it. So you breathe in as it expands and you breathe out as it contracts. And it has to be, certainly for me, such a powerful, powerful tool to use when you just really need a refresher. And it's literally 10 minutes, and you never have to do it for the full 10 minutes. So even if you did 2 minutes, that's better than nothing. So a couple of breathing techniques is the first one that's really useful to use is what we call breathing to the count of 4. And this one, literally what you do is you breathe in as you count to 4 in your mind. 2, 3, 4, and then you hold your breath to the count of 4. And when you hold your breath, you'll find that there's a stillness that emerges. And tomorrow we'll be dealing with stillness and meditation, and you'll see how this links to it. And so you breathe into the count of 4, hold to the count of 4, breathe out to the count of 4, and hold to the count of 4. So let's try that now. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. And you breathe in again, hold, breathe out, hold. This very, very simple breathing exercise brings you so present to the current moment. I cannot stress enough how powerful it can be. If you're going into a conflict or into a meeting, or you're getting ready to deal with something you're not wanting to deal with, or you've come out of something that has felt like it's been taxing on your physical body and on your energy, just a couple of moments of breathing to 4 steadies everything, brings you to consciousness, slows everything down. Now, one of the challenges of being on earth is our relationship with time, and most of us don't believe we have enough time. But when you do breathing to 4, you'll find that time expands. It starts to become something that you're present in the moment, and when you're present in the moment, time expands. Yeah. The next technique I'm going to show you is breathing with what we call pursed lips. And this is a very cool exercise to get rid of things. So one of the things with breathing is that we often talk about breathe in love and breathe out anything you don't need. So breathing out is a release, breathing in is a refresher. And in this one, you breathe into the count of 4, then you purse your lips, and I'm going to look very cute when I do this, I know. And then you literally blow out slowly. And the benefit of this is that by pursing your lips, you slow down your breath as it exits. And you need to push all the way out so that you exhale everything that you're holding on to. So if we demonstrate it, we count into 4, 2, 3, 4, and then now you'll see when I do it, I kind of take little sips of breath in between to continue blowing out. You don't need to do that. Trust your own body and follow what feels right. The important part of this exercise is releasing. It's just giving yourself the consciousness of letting go, of surrendering to the moment and releasing all that you're holding on to. You see that time was able to exhale for longer. And the more you do this, the more you will push further and really become aware of your stomach and your diaphragm and pull it in as you are pushing out the air. Allow yourself to really, really push everything out so that it is released. Yeah. So cool, I feel like doing it again. Well, one of the benefits of teaching you is I have to do this. I get into doing it all the time for myself. But I promise you, practice with breath And the cool thing about breath is it's for free. Really, you don't need to spend any money on anything to be able to shift your consciousness with breath. Every time we do this, we almost change the flow of our internal stories. And by changing the flow of our internal stories, that's how we shift the energy around us. And we know this. I mean, every ancient healing tool and technique has breathing as part of it. Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, meditation. And then you get real breathing, you get holotropic breathing, you get circular breathing, you get all sorts of breathing techniques that are healing tools. So if this is something that you feel called to, there's a profound amount of expansion I'm taking you through, again, as with this whole course, as an introduction to the tip of the iceberg. The next breathing technique we're going to try and do is called alternative nostril breathing. So this is one where it doesn't really matter which finger, although it's spoken about to use your thumb. You put your 2 fingers down and you go to use these fingers. So it's this sort of motion. So you put your thumb against one nostril. You breathe in through the open nostril, and you close the open nostril and breathe out. So you really are alternating nostrils. In through one, out through the other. In through that one, out through this one. And as you continue this journey of in and out, it's a real powerful breathing exercise for balancing. Very powerful for balancing masculine and feminine energy. It's the yin-yang breathing tool. If you're feeling out of balance, out of integrity, out of alignment, this exercise just for 5 minutes centers everything and brings you back to a consciousness. It's also very powerful for the integration of the left and right hemisphere of the brain. And so, again, if you're feeling like you're being in too much logic, which again is masculine and feminine, and not enough creativity, it's one of those breathing exercises. If you problem solving and you're stuck with a problem and you're not finding a solution to it, take 5 minutes to do this breathing exercise, and it forms little connections across the meridians, across the passages in the body and the mind, and so it brings us to this balanced place. One of the core principles of yoga and qigong and tai chi is about centering and balancing and bringing us back to alignment. And this energy release that happens through this kind of breathing is very cool for that. This hand movement that I was doing is a very powerful hand movement to also just center. And if you apply that with breathing, it also helps you start with your sort of center point, and you inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Yeah. The more space you have, use it. So that one's not in your notes, but there's a bonus one for you. There's an extra one for you. Another tool for breathing is breath holds love in it. It's like almost, as I said earlier, that life force, that chi, that prana. And the Mother Earth and the divine provides everything we need to feel resourceful, feel useful. And if we imagine breathing in love, then one of the things we can start doing is consciously sending our breath to any part of our body that is in need of healing, in need of love, in need of balancing. So the way you do this exercise is you take a minute with your eyes closed to scan your body, and you identify any points in your body that feel tense or in pain or in need of just a release. So for me at the moment, my back of my neck is very tense. And so what you do is you take a deep breath in, With your eyes closed, you channel that breath to the place in your body that needs the love. And you exhale. Just send it with your mind. The power of intention is very, very powerful. Intention, energy flows where attention goes as directed by intention. So whatever you give attention to is where energy will flow to. And when you hold that with intention, it becomes even more powerful. So as I hold the intention of sending loving attention to my neck, which is the part of the body I chose, but it could be anywhere. It could be your big toe, it could be your ear, it could be your tooth, it could be your heart, it could be anywhere. It's just this exercise of intentionally flowing this energy of air and oxygen and life force and love to the part of our body that most needs it. If you do that for a consistent period, you'd start to see that the muscles and the parts of our body that need it start to respond. This, unlike the other exercises, this is an exercise that needs a little bit more investment of time. It's a very powerful exercise as a meditation to sit and do for 15 minutes. And as you get into bed at night, if you're wanting to do a deep breathing meditation that helps you release tension from the day, you can do this exercise for 10-15 minutes before you go to sleep, and you'll start finding your body responding, because your body is a bit like a child. It just wants to be cuddled, and it wants to be loved, and it wants to be nurtured, and it wants to be cared for. And so when we send this loving energy and oxygen to it, it responds from a place of deep, deep, deep gratitude. The last exercise, one I'm not going to demonstrate as much because I'm sitting down, but I'll describe it to you and you can play with it. This is an exercise that you do standing up. If you have low blood pressure, you just monitor yourself. And if you tend to get dizzy very quickly when you're bending over and coming up, monitor that for yourself. But essentially, you stand with your feet shoulder width apart, and you're going to bend at your torso and bend down to Mother Earth. You're going to get your hands to get as close to the ground as you can get it. If you need to bend your knees, that is fine. And you're going to scoop up air from Mother Earth. So you're scooping up earth energy here, and you're going to pull that up. And as you're pulling it up, you're going to inhale. And you're going to inhale it to your heart, and you're going to allow it to infiltrate into your heart. And you exhale. Then you put your hands up to the sky and you collect energy from Father Sky, and you pull that sky energy, love energy. You inhale that to your heart. And then you bend down again, scoop up. And scoop in. This is very powerful as a grounding breath work technique, which follows on from energy clearing that we spoke about yesterday. And it also very closely aligns with the technique I taught you yesterday about connecting with source and staying grounded in truth. You could use this breathing exercise as an overlap of that tool that we spoke about yesterday. So there you have it. These are some quick and easy breathing techniques. If this piques your interest, feel free to go and search and look into other breathing techniques. There are a myriad of them, and they're definitely worth trying out, and some are more take you to deeper places. One of the things that I just want to tell you about breath work that I've become aware of is when I start doing deep breathing work, there's often emotions that were deeply submersed in my consciousness that come forward, memories and pain and things that I hadn't thought about, or even gifts and joy and excitement. So this is almost like it shuffles things up, and it brings up things that we need to focus on. And so don't be afraid if that happens. It's a very powerful part of it. Just make sure you're in that appropriate place for you to be doing that, because it can sometimes, certainly my experience, can raise emotion for you. It also, for me personally, and this, please don't make this your goal, but when I feel very stagnant or stuck with energy and I start doing deep breath work as a releasing technique, I can often get quite nauseous. I don't physically want to vomit. It's a terrible word, but I don't physically want to vomit, but it's like almost a gagging, and that gagging can be an energy release in itself as well. So I'll tell you about those so that if it happens for you, you have an awareness that it's okay. Just go with it and breathe through it, and you will be fine. But if it doesn't happen for you, please don't think you're doing anything wrong, because it's not the goal. So these are techniques for releasing or for relaxation as one, but these are also very powerful breathing techniques for anxiety and stress, and even depression sometimes. So play around with them. Let me know which ones work for you. If any of you have any other cool techniques that you'd love to share, feel free to share. Please always do that from a place of love. And I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Namaste.